McCaskill's office. At about 12:15, we have a meeting with Cindy Hall, who is her regional director. But right now, we're going to make a few statements, share them with you, and then we will take any questions that folks have, be it from the media or others. Well, start off here. We are gathered here today to issue a call to all of our elected officials, beginning with Senator Claire McCaskill, but also including Senator Roy Blunt and Representative Blaine Luchtenmeyer and all of the people in our Congress to take a stand with the American people. We've gathered to share concerns regarding the supercommittee process. This is a process that's deeply flawed from the get-go, and this push to impose austerity on the American people and our economy must be challenged, and that's why we're here today. So thank you all for being out to do this.
Woo!
Our deep concerns about this process have led us to make daily visits to our 2 U.S. senators' offices every day for the past 6 weeks. This finishes up 6 weeks of daily visits, daily meetings, and more than 50 of us have participated in this process, going to meet with our elected officials, representatives, and passing along a message. Our effort has been to deliver a message that this austerity is wrong-headed and it needs to be stopped. Before we go into Senator McCaskill's office today to continue this dialogue process, I'd like to share with you some of the reasons why we feel this is a very big mistake and misdirection, and then my colleagues, Mariano Morales and George Smith, will share some more specific concerns about both where we're spending money or not spending money and where our taxes are coming from or not. Let me start off by saying that we are still in, sadly, the deepest and longest economic downturn since the Great Depression. And some people are very wrong-headedly proposing draconian cuts in spending at this time. This is not just, and it's just lousy economics. It's wrong. We should not be doing this. Our government's imperative should be to take action to right the economy. Attempting to balance the budget when 9% officially are unemployed and closer to 20% are actually unemployed is essentially Hoover economics. It's economics that will significantly prolong and intensify the suffering and the dislocation in our nation. It's unacceptable. While it makes sense to balance the budget once the economy has been righted, the imperative today is to put our country back to work. Cutting programs that will put Americans out of work will reduce overall demand in the economy, lead to more layoffs, and this is something we can ill afford. It's just wrong.
Woo!
There are times when it's appropriate to cut, and there are things right now that are appropriate to cut. And as I say, my colleagues are going to be speaking to that, but we need right now to be talking to our senators, and I have just a few really important messages I want to share with Senator McCaskill. I wish she was here to hear these, but I'll let you all hear them and hope that this message will get through to Senator McCaskill. Senator McCaskill, we are calling on you, our senator, to take leadership and stand up for us. We're urging you to speak out in the interest of the working people, the middle class, and especially for those living at the margins. What we're seeing here is a classic case wherein the interests of the 99% are pitted against those of the 1%. It's an excellent opportunity for you, Senator McCaskill, to demonstrate that you're on our side. We want to hear from you that you are on our side. We find ourselves today at a critical juncture, in fact, a crisis point. Unless you, Senator McCaskill, and our other elected officials take up the banner of the people's interests, we're likely to see incredibly misguided actions taken ostensibly in the name of deficit reduction. These actions will profoundly affect the health of our economy, our people, and our environment for many years to come. We're calling upon you, Senator McCaskill, to demonstrate the wisdom and courage to stand up to these wrong-headed power grabs by ideologues on the right. This is a very important point. We can't afford to have the right accommodated by the center. Rather, we need leaders who will stand up to those who would gut all that is good that our government does. Senator McCaskill, please use every ounce of influence you have to urge your colleagues on the supercommittee to stand firm in opposing austerity, opposing shifting the burdens onto the working people. We implore you, Senator McCaskill, don't make those who can least afford it pay for the excesses of the wealthy. Senator McCaskill, our message to you is to have a heart, no austerity. We've got this cake we're going to be sharing with them, saying that exactly. And heart is courage, and that's what we're looking for, is courage and leadership from Senator Claire McCaskill. I'm going to turn this over to Mariana Morales.
Hi, Mark. Thank you very much for your wonderful message. I'm a graduate student at the University of Missouri, and I just want to express how worried we all are about the type and the extent of cuts that are being proposed by the Super Committee. Cuts to Social Security, to Medicaid, to Medicare. These are cuts that are going to affect the most vulnerable members of our community, the elderly, the disabled, low-income families and their children. This is absolutely unjust and immoral. These are people, these are people who have been affected the most by the downturn in our economy, and it is terrible to sit back and watch them suffer even more. We want to remind our representatives, we want to remind Senator McCaskill that Americans would rather see cuts in defense spending. Okay? Yeah. This means ending the wars so that we can bring back our brave soldiers and our much-needed American dollars. We want to remind her that it is possible to make significant cuts to defense spending while still maintaining the best army in the world that will protect us. If our government wants to protect us, they need to stop making cuts in things that are going to endanger our future. I'm talking about cuts in construction of infrastructure, cuts in the development of clean energy, in environmental programs. These are things that are going to endanger our lives, our cities, our environment. So we ask them not to cut these. Instead, why not cut back on kickbacks to dirty fuels? Right. If our government is so concerned about our current high unemployment, then why are they continuing to lay off public workers? These are teachers, firemen, policemen who protect us. They educate us and our families. And so we ask them to stop laying them off, and why not instead address our deficit by cutting back tax loopholes, which benefit only wealthy individuals and corporations who could still continue to make huge profits while paying a more fair share of taxes. That's right. So lastly, I want to say that what we really want to see is a government that recognizes what makes America great. Okay, and that is her skilled, educated workforce. The ones who actually built and developed her technology, her infrastructure. Us and these things need to be protected by our government, by Senator McCaskill, by our super committee, and therefore, it's quite simple. Please just don't cut public retirement, environmental, and education programs. And we really hope that Senator McCaskill will stand with us in these really difficult times. Thank you.
Hi, I'm George Smith. I'm a professor at the university, and I would like to emphasize that in tax policy, as in the policy of public spending, the demands of social justice and the demands of plain economic common sense coincide. There are some tax cuts which can be very helpful to the economy, can be stimulatory, and also are a matter of justice. But there are some tax cuts that are both unjust and do nothing to stimulate the economy. And that would include most especially the Bush tax cuts, which went to the highest income earners in this country. These are tax cuts that do virtually nothing to stimulate an economy that's in a deep recession as ours is. So these are, we call specifically for an end to the Bush era tax cuts. And hope that Senator McCaskill will get behind the 99% in making sure that these tax cuts come to an end. Thank you.
So folks, what we want to do now, it's just about time to go into our meeting. I should check with the media who's present, which I think is you, August. Do you have any questions for us?
Well, actually, I'm hoping we have a reporter that'll come down.
Okay, you're the photog, and well, if your reporter wants to talk to us later, they can give me a call and such. But
yeah, I definitely got enough for an extended caption.
Okay, well, that's all good. Nobody else from the media is here, as I take it. Is that correct? Well, then we should proceed apace to go inside, and we want to invite anybody who is interested in coming in to be in on this meeting. I know some people probably have other commitments they need to get to, but for those who have the time, it'd be great to have you come in. If there's not enough room for everybody who wants to come in, we could invite Cindy Hall to meet with us out here. So, can I just see a show of hands? Who is planning on coming inside or would like to? Looks like almost everybody. Why don't we invite her to come out here if they don't have a space big enough to meet with all of us? Let me go do that and see where we are.